Hello, you're on XPRIMM TV and we're at the Azerbaijan International Insurance Forum. Mr. CELEBILER, you were the moderator of the first day of the conference. What were the topics addressed?
Well, it's very difficult to remember. It's already 24 hours gone. No, I'm joking, of course. We discussed basically compulsory insurances. Because Azerbaijan is a country of compulsory insurances. It started being interested in insurance, involved in insurance after the Soviet involvement in the country in 1991. And since then it has been trying to improve its insurance sector. So in the beginning we had a session where we found out about what kind of business insurance was in the country, how it was seen by the government and by the insurance companies and by the public. We now have a fairly good idea of what the insurance companies are, what they're doing, how much premium there is, and what's the distribution of insurance in the market. And then we started talking about the various different types of insurance in the market, how it's sold or how it is not sold, how it is compulsory, and how, although compulsory, it's not really enforced well. So there's a great deal for insurance in this market to go. I mean, there's a long way for it to go, but this can happen in a very short time. In this day of technology, it will take just a few years, I think. The government is very active here, and through compulsory insurances, I think they have a good rein on the situation. So these are the kind of things we discuss: compulsory motor insurance and compulsory building insurance, which originally started in terms of catastrophe insurance, but now combines catastrophe insurance with non-catastrophe perils like fire, explosion, and all allied perils, in fact on an all-risks basis for almost a regular householder's insurance on a first loss basis. So this is the most information you're going to get on the subject, I think, until the law comes into effect.
I'm wondering, is this the Azeri system going to be different from, for example, the one that we have in Romania or the one that you have in Turkey?
I don't know what you have in Romania. The one that we have in Turkey has only earthquake coverage. And earthquake coverage has higher limits than the one in Azerbaijan. And the limits are dependent on the type of construction and not where the property is situated. Here in Azerbaijan, it depends on the location of the property and not on the type of construction. So the underwriting, I think, factors have not been utilized properly here. It depends, I think, on the buying power of the owners here. So Baku, the capital and the richest city, the housing here or the property here is covered for higher limits and with higher premium. The rates are quite low for an all-risk policy here. And again, in Turkey, the rates are dependent on earthquake zones. Here is a flat rate. Again, here, the insurance, you have to go to an insurance company or a bank and to buy it. And since there are very few agents, if you just own a house and you don't go and buy it, there's no one to try to sell it to you. And the government doesn't yet have the ways of, or hasn't come up with the ways of enforcing it. In Turkey, for example, if you want to buy or sell property, then you have to show this insurance policy. And this is one of the major ways of making it compulsory. Other ways that were considered is, for example, in order to get, when you pay your electricity bills or water bills, again, you have to show your policy and connect it to the city services, municipal services, because the insurance policy in Turkey covers only urban property and not rural property. So peasants' houses, village houses are not covered. And so again, I don't know what it is in Romania. However, in Azerbaijan, if the government finds a way of enforcing it, this will, of course, have much wider coverage. But it brings the problems of underinsurance for additional policies that the insured may have. Because this is a stop-loss policy. For one thing, they may think that they are fully covered if they have this insurance. And the maximum limit is 25,000 manat, which is about 25,000 euro, which is very low. And if if a house is worth more than that, then they think they don't need any more insurance, then the compensation they receive will not be enough for them to build a new house. Again, with the lack of insurance knowledge, they may start thinking that this kind of policy will cover the value of the property, the market value of the property, rather than the reconstruction of the property. And so all these things will need time in order to train the population, not only to buy this insurance, but for them to understand what it involves. So in that respect, Turkey and I'm sure Romania is far ahead, and it will take a long time for Azerbaijan to keep up or get to the same level of education and training.